This is David Hakan with Casey Cafe Radio in the Gypsy Wagon Studios in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm here with Eric Lambert, who is one of the artists that attends Folk Alliance conferences to showcase his original music. Welcome, Eric.
David, thank you very much for having us. We're thrilled.
Well, one of the questions that's on a lot of people's minds is, tell us about when you first learned that your tours and shows would be canceled because of the pandemic.
Well, everything happened pretty fast, you know. One day we were moving along as per usual, and the next day we weren't. And that was kind of interesting, you know, for things to change that quickly and almost literally overnight, you know. And we have a CD project in the can, and we had shows scheduled and release shows scheduled. And
a CD release show that had to be canceled.
Yeah. And, it was tempting to be disappointed. It was tempting, it was only tempting for a second, you know, to maybe visit the poor me section. But really, that was a fleeting thought, and that took a moment or two to get over. And what really became to become evident in my mind was that there was something really important taking place here. And there were some changes that were going to occur that were very important. And that, little old me and the lovely Shar and our music and our CD project and our tours and so on and so forth, lost importance pretty quickly as the numbers of the death toll began to come in. There's a whole different agenda, and personally I just had to change my way of thinking, and I became very grateful, of course, for what we have. We've got a nice little farmhouse, and the bills are paid, and doing a lot of teaching online and different things like that. And we personally know people who have it a lot worse than we do.
Yeah, that's me as well. I've been feeling really grateful through this.
So that's really what it was like. It only took a minute to get over the fact that, I felt important for a second, and then fortunately Spirit said, stop that. Because you're just a grain of sand, or you're just a drop of water in the ocean, and you're just like everybody else, and there's going to be some opportunities to grow. There's going to be some opportunities to look inside ourselves and maybe discover a little bit more about ourselves, instead of running out of the house with a breakfast sandwich in one hand and your car keys in the other, and spending your day like that, like maybe a lot of folks had previous to this pandemic. And now there's some real time for meditating and discovering things that are important, really important, not just what we think we're important, maybe out of vanity or something, and me and my little CD and that kind of thing,
Right. Cool. So tell us a little bit about your background in music. Growing up.
Well, I've been playing one of these for as long as I can remember. I guess maybe realistically at about 13 years old. And I'm 63 now. And it's all I've ever done. So I've gone through phases of playing electric guitar for a living. Um, you know, when you do it that long, there's a craze, and then there's a craze, and then there's a craze. And if you're putting food on the table, you many times learn how to play the craze, you know.
Right.
So I've done, you know, when I was a teenager, we played rock and roll. Of course we did. And knew every Led Zeppelin lick and every Allman Brothers lick. And then my life personally changed, and there was going to be a new dependent in the house.
Right.
And now I had to look at guitar playing a little bit differently, you know, and I started playing guitar for a living. So I just became rehearsed and adept at playing many styles, you know, playing music for a living.
Yeah.
Whether it was during the blues craze, and I toured the country with Big Shoulders playing the blues, or whether it was the country phase.
Right.
This is a couple of country phases pre to the current country.
Yes, I was there.
No, and I toured with people, and then there was a country rock thing, and I had the pleasure of playing with a legendary Midwestern band called Hartsfield for a couple of years on the road. And you know, and while you're doing that, you're also learning how to play weddings and private parties and music that is heard in the background, or music
Right.
that people can dance to. You know, I was a guitarist.
Right.
And that's what I did for many, many years until, until I finally acted out on a dream that I had after hearing Doc Watson play the Black Mountain Rag on the Will the Circle Be Unbroken album, which was something from outer space. I'd never heard that before. Then I set out on a quest to learn how to play acoustic guitar and learn how to play traditional music and learn how to be valid about it, you know, get into it deeply, and then became very fortunate to tour around the world at least a couple of times with some very outstanding bluegrass bands.
Great.
And duets and lots of solo things, until I finally just decided I would focus on songwriting and doing things the way I wanted to do them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, play us one of your songs. Tell us what the spark was for that song.
Well, the spark from this song was the pandemic, the stay at home, the wear a mask, all of those things. And it was really brought together one night when Shar and I were sitting on the couch, and she said, you know, I think Mother Nature is really, really angry.
Let's hear that song.
You know, there's been this discussion and that discussion, and where did it come from, and who's behind it, and is it real, and is it fake, and is it... And Shar just said, I think Mother Nature is really angry. And in a couple of days, the song was born. So this is called Mother Nature. Mother Earth. 1, 2, ready, play. Mother Earth has had enough. We've taken all she'll give. We broke her heart, she got tough, and changed the way we live. There's no amount of money that can satisfy the cost. We finally pushed her way too far, and what we knew is lost. She'll be here forever to care for you and me, if we show her respect and love and set aside our greed. makes this a lesson, and as much as it may hurt, she knows that it's for our own good. Her will she must assert. Now we can learn from our mistakes, or insist to have our way. Kick and scream and stomp our feet, be the mischief of the day. She'll be here forever to care for you and me, if we show her respect and love and set aside our greed. And from the fires in California to the quake in Kathmandu, the tornadoes in Music City, she's angry, yes, that's true. The devastation in Puerto Rico and the flooding across the plains, a worldwide pandemic, leave only us to blame. She'll be here forever to care for you and me, if we show her respect and love and set aside our greed. I remember watching baseball in the bleachers in the sun, with 30,000 screaming fans. Those afternoons were fun. And I remember hearing music and dancing on the lawn. I cherish those old memories. What we did then is gone. She'll be here forever to care for you and me, if we show her respect and love and set aside our greed. She'll be here forever to care for you and me, if we show her respect and love and set aside our greed. Mother Earth has had enough. We've taken all she'll give. It broke her heart and she got tough and changed the way we live.
Oh yes, perfect for these times. And wonderful harmony too, Shar.
Thank you.
So tell us about the CD that you've got ready to roll out.
Well, we have a CD called Beatin' the Odds. And again, you know, Spirit is really amazing. This was the last song written for the disc, until, of course, Mother Earth,
Right.
which we started working on last week in the studio to include. And of course, you know, I'm working with Carrie Estrin on this disc.
Right.
And she said, what are we going to call it? And I said, well, you know, I don't know, but taking all of the tunes into account, it's almost like people are beating the odds, overcoming things. You know, we cover a lot of subjects on the CD, abuse issues and PSTD issues or PTSD issues and different things, you know. And I thought, you know, people are overcoming the odds here in these songs. And she said, that's a great name for the CD. Now you have to write the song. Thank you very much. She has a way of doing that. You know?
On challenge, good.
And so I wrote the song, and we were really happy with it. And of course,
So
it
fun.
features Shar on harmony vocal, as well as our engineer and super talent all around, get stuff done guy, John Carpenter. But it also features Don Sternberg on the mandolin.
Great.
Who is just world renowned as a jazz mandolist and swing player. And of course, in his spare time, he's just, you know, the best bluegrass mandolin picker in Chicago. And a young man who had relocated to the city from Colorado, and named Kyle O'Brien. Young man, talent oozing from his pores, you know. And he plays the fiddle on the tune for us. And it's simply called Beating the Odds.
Let's hear it.
Ah. When it feels like the whole world's against you, and it's hard to get out of bed, you feel like your insides are empty, and the voices, they scream in your head. You drop to your knees, beg and say, please, turn yourself over to the gods. That's just the first step. You're well on your way to finally beating the odds. Oh, that well of loneliness drowned you. You need to come up for some air. The climb can be steep, there's help on the way. It will pull you right out of despair. You know you were meant to be more than you are now. It's okay to dream and believe. You're standing up straight and you notice the nods. You're finally beating the odds. Now don't let your own mind fool you. You're just the way you've been raised. Don't let that old guilt upon you. Look inside and you'll be amazed. Oh, you thought you were born on the bottom. You won't quit till you're on the top. You've lost your excuses, the gallery applauds. You're finally beating the odds. Now don't buy the words they've been saying. They want you to stay on the ground. Some like the tune you've been playing. They see you as wearing a crown. Oh, we've all had to climb our own mountain to feel our face warmed by the sun. Just be the real you, no need for facades. You're finally beating the odds. You're finally beating the odds.
Oh, yeah. Love it. I can hear the mandolin and fiddle just having a lot of fun with that, too.
Oh.
Exactly.
I had to mute myself because I started tapping my foot. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
It's a thrill.
Thank you.
It's always a thrill to see you at Folk Alliance and get the opportunity to get in the wagon and do some recording, and to see you and your smiling face always, because you're always so uplifting and in a positive place.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to get the Gypsy Wagon studio back out on the road.
bet.
Probably be in 2021. I was talking to someone about pushing a concert to summer of 2021 today. But that's what you have to do. You have to do it. So thank you so much, and good luck with getting your CD finished up.